Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Davison Igbinosun Show, presented by the College Corner. I'm Neil McCready. That is Davison Igbinosun, Ole Miss's starting cornerback. I guess you're technically the left cornerback. Is that right? That's your spot. Yeah. I watched you. I put the binoculars on you a lot Saturday against Tulsa. Ole Miss beats Tulsa 35-27. The Rebels now 4-0. They head home to play Kentucky. The Wildcats come in also 4-0. Kentucky ranked number 7 in the country in the latest Associated Press Top 25. Ole Miss ranked number 14 today in the AP Top 25. So a huge game in Oxford on Saturday. 11 a.m. is the kick. It will be televised nationally on ESPN, the SEC pregame show. I can't remember the name of it. SEC Nation, I think. They're coming to town. They'll be in the Grove on Saturday morning. So a big day, big week ahead in Oxford. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. First, I want to tell you this show brought to you each and every week by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, the College Corner is next to Fleet Feet. And in Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. You can go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for game day with the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. Davison, how are you?
I'm good, Neil. How are you?
Man, I'm good. Appreciate you asking. You guys played a different kind of team on Saturday with Tulsa. Davis Brin, the passing quarterback, got hurt fairly early in the game. I think his knee got to a place where he just couldn't keep going. They went to Braxton, the more kind of athletic, run-oriented quarterback, more of a one read, and if it's there, throw it. If it's not there, run it. How much did them changing quarterbacks, I guess, sort of disrupt you guys defensively from what you had spent the week preparing for?
I think that I don't remember his name. His name is Braxton.
I think so, yeah. He
definitely was a lot better than their starting quarterback. I feel like he was like faster. And he made a whole lot of plays.
Yeah, he's a big guy too. I mean, he was able to break some tackles, sort of extend some plays, and
yeah, he did that a lot yesterday.
That's hard as a defensive back, I'm guessing. When
got to keep covering.
Yeah, and you think, I mean, because you got to be thinking 5, 6, 7 seconds. Hey, this is. I had you on binoculars on. You're running around with your guy, and it just plays break down a little bit, and that's the sign of a good quarterback if he can extend plays a little bit and get breakdowns to happen where somebody comes open 6, 7 seconds into a play.
Right.
All right. Let's talk. I mean, look. If we're still talking about the Tulsa game at the end of the year, something went terribly wrong. So we're getting into SEC play. I'm guessing that for you, we're taping this on a Sunday evening, a little after 7 o'clock. Today was a long day in the building, a lot of film. I'm guessing you can already sense that, hey, this is a different deal we're getting ready for now going into SEC play.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's only going to get harder from here on out.
What we'll talk about Kentucky in a minute, because I know you know that program pretty well. You took an official visit. We'll get to that in a minute. But what do you see on film from the Wildcats? I know it's Will Levis is a guy that the quarterback that people talk about as a potential first-round pick. He's got some other weapons around him. I mean, look, it's an SEC program just like you guys.
Right.
In fact, and I've been writing about this, if you go back to the end of the 2020 season, both Ole Miss and Kentucky, dating back to their bowl games at the end of the 2020 season, Ole Miss and Kentucky are 15-3 each going into this game. So 2 programs that have had a ton of success.
Right.
When you look at them on film, what do you see?
They have athletes everywhere. They have 2 backs. Strong arm quarterback. He can throw the ball. they look good on film. They look very good on film.
When you go against a quarterback like Levis, you and I've talked about this. This is, I know, episode number 4 or 5 or whatever, where we are, but you've talked about wanting to play in the NFL. You certainly have NFL talent. Everybody can see that. So when you go against a quarterback who probably is going to play in the league, he's certainly going to get an opportunity. Will Levis is that kind of exciting for you? I mean, obviously you want to beat him, you respect him, all that stuff, but you came to an SEC school to play against these kinds of players, right?
Exactly.
When you know that it's a quarterback like him who can make all the throws, he's got serious arm talent, much the same way you've got serious cover talent. Do you have to? This isn't taking away from the kids at Tulsa or whatever, but do you have to approach things a little bit differently, knowing that this is a guy who, if you allow a window, he can fit a ball into that window?
Not really. I feel like you can't. The standard is the standard.
When you say that, what do you mean? What is the standard?
Like, you have to cover everybody all the time.
When you're lined up, I was watching. I had binoculars on you. I'm not being a creep, but I'm trying to like pick things up to ask you. I had the binoculars on you, and you're in man coverage, and the receiver's right across from the line of scrimmage. When you're looking at him, are you looking for keys, or are you like trying to send a message with your eyes? Looking at him, are you looking at a part of his body, like to see where he's leaning? What kind of things are you looking for to figure out, hey, here's what's coming?
At the line of scrimmage, I'm probably good. I'm probably gonna see the split first, if anything. The split will tell you the route that's probably coming.
Are you talking much at that point? Or are you pretty locked in?
No, I'm so locked in at that point.
All right, let's talk about recruiting a little bit. People might say why, but I'm curious. You took an official visit to Kentucky. You took all 5 of your official visits. You went to, let me see if I get this right, see what I can remember. You went to Ole Miss, Tennessee, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, and Duke officially. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Kentucky official visit. What do you remember about your 48 hours in Lexington?
Mark Stoops was he's a very good guy, I would say. If one thing that stood out about Kentucky, I'm drawing a blank. Let me think. What stood out about Kentucky? I think I want to say like I forget what it's called. The city that Kentucky's in.
Lexington, yeah.
It was pretty nice. It was a nice vibe.
How seriously did you consider Kentucky?
If I'm being completely honest, I didn't consider Kentucky at all.
Okay.
Because they came into my into the recruiting process very late. I want to say. I remember it was about December-ish that Mark Stoops came to my house.
Oh wow, that's really late. Yeah,
they started recruiting me very late. So he came to my house on a Wednesday, and Friday I took the official visit. So I really didn't consider them, if I'm being completely honest.
That's cool. What was their sales pitch coming in that late?
Start as a true freshman, kind of thing.
But you sort of figured you were going to do that wherever you went, right? So that just didn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, when you do the photo shoots and stuff, like wearing the uniforms and all that stuff of a school that you know you're not going to go to, does it feel weird, or is it you just having fun?
Just having fun with it.
All right. So you took the visit to Kentucky. Obviously you liked the Ole Miss visit. Tell me about your visit to Ole Miss. What was it like?
I took 2 visits. I think I took maybe 2 or 3 visits to Ole Miss. I feel like it was my first time in the South. Like, it definitely was like, it was a new feeling. Like, I enjoyed it a lot.
What do you remember about your official visit to Ole Miss when you're on their dime?
Oh, the Porsche. Coach Kiffin, he let me drive his Porsche.
Oh, I do remember that picture. Yeah, I've never driven a Porsche in my life. Were you nervous at all about wrecking it?
I mean, he didn't seem to care much, so I didn't.
On those visits, are you thinking at the time, hey, this feels like a place for me? Are you just kind of having fun? At what point did it click in your mind? I mean, I know you were already thinking about it pretty hard, but at what point did you think in your mind, hey, I think this is where I'm going?
So coming into my Ole Miss official visit, in my head, I was going to Rutgers. Like, I was thinking about going to Rutgers. Like, and then like, by the end of the trip, I started thinking like I can play in the SEC. Like, so like after the visit, I made my decision.
And that was that. Did you? I mean, it was pretty hard there at the end, but in your mind, that decision, that the visit to Ole Miss, you were just sort of, you were done.
Yeah.
Any of the other visits stick out? Did Tennessee, Duke, Pitt, any of those stick out as like at least made you think about it a little bit?
I wasn't going to Duke. I wasn't going to Tennessee. I wasn't going to Pitt, honestly.
So you just took the trips?
Yeah. It was Ole Miss and Rutgers the entire time of my recruitment.
When you were on those other visits, were you just kind of waiting to see if something had happened? Do you think you could have been like, oh, well, maybe I need to think about this? Or did going on those trips sort of solidify that it's Ole Miss or Rutgers?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Gotcha. I've always been curious about this because cornerbacks are kind of like closers in baseball, right? When they get beat, everybody notices.
Yeah.
And you're out there on an island. I mean, when you're a closer in baseball and you come in the ninth inning to finish a game and you don't, you walk off the field, the other team's they're celebrating and you walk off the field kind of with your head down a little bit and the camera's right on you. As a cornerback, I know this doesn't happen to you very much. Hell, I'm not sure it happens to you at all. But when you get beat, how hard is it to forget it, move on, next play?
It's hard if I'm being honest, but like you have to have short-term memory playing corner.
Was that a difficult thing to learn how to do?
Yes, especially in college, because in high school that didn't happen at all, like ever. So soon as I got to college, I'm covering all of the top guys on the team, and like that's bound to happen eventually.
Do you remember the first time in college that one of those guys, whether it was Mingo or Trigg or I don't know, maybe Malik Heath or somebody, where they got the best of you on a rep and
yeah, fall camp, of it, like fall camp. I think he went like a post, and then I was frustrated, and I tackled him after the rep, and Coach Kiffin, he got upset with me after that. But I mean, like, I don't I don't enjoy losing.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Yeah, it's one of the things that makes you potentially great down the road, right? Is that it's just your competitiveness. And when you go up against, the reason I ask is that obviously you're getting ready to step into SEC play where you're going up against elite SEC wide receivers, and at some point it's bound to happen where, at least on a play, a guy gets the best of you, and the ability to process it, learn from it, let it go is something that you have to learn. And I think it's one of the challenges sometimes for elite players like you.
Yeah.
When they get to this level, they've never really had that happen to them before, and they freak out, right? And it one loss, if you will, turns into 2 and 3, and before you know it, it's a mental thing. And obviously, I don't think that's an issue for you, but I just was kind of curious if how you sort of responded to it when it happened to you, when you go up against some of the guys at Ole Miss that obviously are really talented receivers.
Right.
Hey, your brother's team finally took an L, so you're the only undefeated Igbinosun. Did you talk about the Rutgers Iowa game yet, or have you guys not gotten to that?
Yeah, we talked about it. He actually didn't play because he was hurt.
So he'll probably tell you that he's still technically undefeated. Is that the trash talk from him today?
Basically.
I guess we talked about this a little bit, but I want to get you to talk about it some. I thought it was interesting in the very first show we did, you talked about how you had to kind of hit a point where you thought, yeah, you know what, I can play in the SEC. I can play in that league, which is a real challenging league. So here comes the first game. Nothing against Troy and Central Arkansas and Georgia Tech and Tulsa, but these are the games you've kind of dreamed about. Now that it's almost here, what's going through your mind?
I have to perform. It's here. Like, I have to do what I have to do. Like, just go out there and be great.
How much better are you in your mind today than you were in January when you got here? How much better are you today than you were maybe in early August when camp started? How much better are you today in your mind than when the first game rolled around when you guys played against Troy?
Since January, I'm a completely better football player. Like, I learned so much football since January. And then I feel like since Troy, I've gotten a whole bunch more confident now playing in 4 games now.
Quick word from our sponsor before we finish up with Davison. A word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts in my life. It's a life changer for me. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp's a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable, it's entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. Switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. All right. Again, Kentucky and Ole Miss on Saturday morning. I've been asking the other guys this, so I'll ask you. In high school, obviously, everything was at night, right? I guess maybe you guys in New Jersey played some Saturday games, but most things were at night. Do you like the morning games? Do you like getting up, knowing, hey, I'm up, I'm going to play, let's go?
In high school, no, I didn't enjoy the morning games. I like the Friday night games more, if anything. But you just have to adjust.
What is the adjustment? I mean, what's the earliest game you've ever played, like a high school game or
I think 12, maybe.
So this is what this is. It's 12 Eastern, 11 Central. So do you sleep well the night before, knowing you're waking up and you're getting taped and you're getting breakfast and you're going to the stadium and you're going to play football?
It's like fall camp or like a regular Tuesday practice.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that till you said that. You guys practice in the mornings at Ole Miss, so you're sort of conditioned to that. Wake up, go.
Right.
Yeah. How much do you obviously in high school, I'm assuming like most high schools, you guys practiced in the afternoon. Do you like the morning routine where you get up and get your work in?
Yeah, I do like that. The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, that's true. That's a cliche that sticks around for a reason. All right. Well, listen, I know I've kept you for a long time, so I appreciate your time, Davison, on the show. I know a lot of people have told me how much they have enjoyed kind of getting to know you here on the show. Again, our thanks to the College Corner for making this show possible. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. It's next to Fleet Feet in Flowood. It's next to Half Shell. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. So for Davison Igbinosun, I'm Neil McCready. We'll be back next week with another edition of the show. We'll review Ole Miss and Kentucky and get you ready for Davison's first SEC road game of his career as Ole Miss gets ready to head to Vanderbilt for week 2 in the SEC. So, Davison, thanks for the time.
First, thank you, Neil.
We'll talk to you all soon. Again, have a great week. Take care.